Hello and a happy gloomy fall Monday to you, my butterscotch cold foam manatees, and add some tiaras in there somewhere. Anyway, coffee cheers to you. It is I, Hallie, with today's weekly reading book review. Last week was a crazy blur of all the things, and so I might not have a lot to say about the giant stack of books I'm looking at right now, but either way, pour yourself a cup of coffee and let's talk about books and stories. So the first book I finished last week is Ursula Nordstrom's The Secret Language. Ursula Nordstrom was an infamous children's book editor from back in the day. She helped develop Where the Wild Things Are, Charlotte's Web, Harold and the Purple Crayon, The Giving Tree, etc. So she's amazing. This was the only kids' book she ever wrote. This is an ugly 1980s, maybe early 90s cover of the reprint from, I think it was 1960 this was written. Either way, there's like charming little old school illustrations in there. Yeah, 1960 was when it was originally written. This is obviously a reprint and a used copy that a friend lent me because boarding school book. So two girls at boarding school, neither one really wants to be there, become friends, antics, build a hut in the woods, have a few words that kind of end up ostracizing the other girls that they kind of want to like, kind of don't, and at least they get a new, very kind hall monitor. Yeah, anyway, dorm mother, whatever. Anyway, so that was cute because boarding school and vintage and just childhood nostalgia for classic reads. Cool? Okay. Secret Language, Ursula Nordstrom, out of print. Find yourself a used copy if you'd like. Okay, the next one I read was Richard Osman's We Solve Murders. Richard, obviously the author of the Thursday Murder Club, that one, and it's 2 or 3 sequels. I've only read the first one. This was, as I called it, Assassins Aplenty. And I hardly remember anything from last week. My head's very full. Anyway, so there's a bodyguard, and then she's staying on a South Carolina island with a famous author. Someone tries to kill her, not the author, but the author, they don't know if it's someone still after the author, and then there's trying to figure out who's sending the assassins, and then she gets her father-in-law involved, who's a retired detective who lives in a tiny British cozy village, and fly him over to America to help solve murders. So it's antics, it's around the world fun. No content that I recall aside from, being shot at. So there's that. Okay, the next one I finished. Yeah, I started it this summer. It's nonfiction. You know me. This is, I put it down and I forget about it because there's stories to read. But anyway, this is The Forest for the Trees, An Editor's Advice to Writers by Betsy, Lerner, originally published in 2000. Revised in 2010. So a lot of it is still relevant. A lot of it has changed in 14 years. So again, this was a used copy I bought online and I was gonna buddy read with another writing friend, and we got distracted. But love that cover. The little pencils are the trees, and so I have lots of just random things and quotes marked in here. Worth a read, not necessarily information you can't get elsewhere, but a nice collection of sage advice from a woman who's been there. Next, another story. Totally read it with the lights on. This is Stage Fright by Wendy, Parris. It is a middle grade horror. So for older middle grade, or if your kids have no fear whatsoever, it was essentially an escape room in an abandoned theater. There's a girl she's moved away to Philadelphia, comes to her small town to visit her friends that she moved away from a year ago. And of course, the dynamics have changed because middle school is hard, and that time period in one's life is awkward and difficult, and friendships change, interests change, etc. She wants things to be the old way because she hasn't settled in her new place. But the whole story revolves is basically, I don't know if I said this, it's an escape room at not really, but that's what it felt like, because most of the book happens inside an abandoned theater. There's a ghost story, so she tries to be cool and like, let's have a seance, and pretends to be fearless. And so they go into the theater and yeah, there's a ghost and possibly some other malevolent forces inside the building who traps them there. So the prop room door closes, and so the basement window they came in through, they can no longer get out, and because it's a boarded up abandoned theater, they can't break the lobby doors and get out. And so all these things happen over the course of an evening. It's a kid's book, so it has a happy ending, but it is a horror novel, so your favorite characters suffer. So stage fright, read with caution, but thankfully I'm a 40-something-year-old woman and wasn't horribly terrified, but I totally would have been as a younger child or adult. Okay, cool. Also, I'm obsessed with this cover, the ghost light and the hole in the stage floor. And there are Shakespeare references because they discover, sorry, minor spoiler, why there's a cemetery on stage and a skull is because it was Hamlet when the production shut down and the theater closed. Tragic. Okay, and then something completely different. As usual, this is The Restaurant of Lost Recipes, the second book in the Kamigawa Food Detectives books by Hisashi Kashiwai. This is Japanese fiction and translation. There is a cat named Drowsy, so cute, and they're just little tiny blurb short stories. I think there's 6 in here. I'm gonna check the table of contents for you. Stand by. Also, really cute page design. Yes, there are 6 different people come to this restaurant to ask for a recipe from their past, and the restaurant owner recreates it for them. So they give him 2 weeks, and he goes and investigates where they might have had, you know, the ramen when they first moved to Tokyo, but that restaurant no longer exists, and so he recreates it, and it's just cute and sweet and all about fancy Japanese food I would never eat, but so cute, and I love that little squatty book design. Okay, those are the books I somehow read this week in the midst of signing with an agent and getting my husband's art applications in, and we are preparing for open studios this Saturday and Sunday. So if you're local to Greenville and you'd like to DM me for the address of Nathan's studio, I'm pointing this way because the studio is in our backyard. We would love to have you come by and see the amazing oil paintings he does and has in progress for his New York show next month. Things are crazy, guys. Okay, currently reading Tangled Up in Luck by Merrill, Wyatt. It's a middle grade book. I could not say no to that cover. So I'm about a third of the way through that. It are 2 unlikely friendships. Again, middle school, so hard. One quirky girl whose family totally ignores her, but she has a flair for the dramatic. And another girl, Sloan, who is known as Slayer Sloan because of her skills on the volleyball court, who is secretly a nerd, but she doesn't want her teammates to know that she actually likes Doctor Who. So her mom passed away, and that was something she shared with her. And these 2, Sloan and Amelia, are partnered for a school project to investigate a centuries-old town mystery where millions of dollars worth of jewels went missing when somebody blew up the rich guy's safe and may have stolen them. Things happen, and so they're investigating that, and it might be the teacher setting them up to have the kids do his homework so he can find the jewels first and get rich. So we'll find out, but again, love that cover, and there is at least a second one with these characters in the series, or, you know, anyway, I don't know. I love it. Okay, currently watching from the library, WONKA. I never saw it. I wasn't so sure about Timmy Chalamet doing a razzle-dazzle musical and a prequel to a beloved classic film and Roald Dahl book story, and I still don't know what I think about it. We're halfway through it. Keep you posted. I don't know. I have feelings. I won't go into them. And then possibly reading next. Again, this week is going to be nuts. I don't know if I'll have time to read more than one book. This is Tale of the Flying Forest by R.M. Romero. This is a middle grade, stunning. We've got sort of deckled edges. They're multi-size, rough cut at least, if not deckled. Shiny cover, gorgeous watercolor illustration on the front, and fairy tale-esque. So I'm into it. Can't wait to read it. This is one of the books I bought myself at, how about, we'll say 1. Okay, there were 3. But one of the books I bought myself when I signed with my agent to celebrate at my local indie bookstore in Judson. So love this. Look how pretty. Okay, also reading, you may have seen my last post yesterday, which was a few days late, because it actually happened Wednesday night, I think. This is The Notes by Catherine Kahn Morse. She is a graduate of our local public boarding high school for the performing arts here in Greenville, South Carolina. So this is kind of about her experiences as a piano student there, and the conflict between family and craft, an obsession, and a mysterious teacher, and apparently some notes to or from the teacher. I don't know. There's a mystery, there's love, there's heartbreak, there's mental health, and there's art. And so I'm into it. And of course, I got my copy signed. Yay! So thank you, Catherine. Looking forward to reading this. This is YA. So have not read, looking forward to it. And Isabel Ibañez, What the Library Hides is coming out, I think, tomorrow. I have no idea. It might be next week, whatever. I own 2 hardcover editions of this book, and I'm going to totally reread it via audio as I zoom about town this week, getting stuff done. So looking forward to the sequel, What the Library Hides. My pre-order, I'm sure, is in the mail. Hopefully it's in the mail, but it'll give me time to listen to this one and be ready. So Wit and Inez, their adventures continue because this totally ended on a totally gaspy cliffhanger. So, okay, let me know what stories you're reading, loving, enjoying. Send up some good vibes and prayers for my sanity. And love you guys so much. And we'll talk more books and art and stories and all the good things soon. Okay, cool. Bye.